Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Dustin.
I'm Wendy.
And this is our review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is directed by Jeff Fowler and stars Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, Colleen Oshanunacy, Jim Carrey, James Marsden, and Tika Sumpter. When Dr. Robotnik comes back and teams up with a new villain, Sonic must find his own partner to team up to face off against them. After the success of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, we knew that this movie was coming, and we've been looking forward to it for quite a while because the first Sonic movie just blew it out of the water. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed Jim Carrey, I enjoyed the story, I love the buddy cop dynamic between Sonic and James Marsden's character, Lord Donut, or Donut Lord. The Donut Lord. And we were just very excited to hear any news about the second Sonic movie. And when the trailer came out for it, it got us even more excited. It looked like it was going to just follow right in pursuit with the first movie.
And that's really... I always appreciate when a sequel kind of kick off exactly where the first one left off. That if the story doesn't necessarily call for much of a time jump and we can pick it up from where we left off, it's really great. And that's exactly what this movie was able to do. So if you saw the first film, minor spoiler here if you haven't seen the first Sonic. And by the way, you probably shouldn't watch the second one if you hadn't watched the first one because context. So we do jump right into the Mushroom Kingdom, which I thought was really cool to see how that world looks and, you know, the current state of Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, honestly, it really kind of did turn into his story, which is fine by me because I loved Jim Carrey in that role, and he just carries that eccentric, fun, over-the-top personality very well, just as, you know, as good as Jim Carrey can in all of his other movies.
But I would caution against like making it like Robotnik's story because it's really not. It's still very much a Sonic story. Yeah. Sonic does not become a supportive character in his own movie. I know sometimes sequels do that. This one does not, but we do have a couple of newcomers in this movie in the ways of Tails and Knuckles, and everybody thought that was really cool that they brought back the original voiceover actress to voice Tails once again. So you will get to see Tails in this, you will get to see Sonic in this, and you will get to see Knuckles in this as well. And I liked it. What I thought that they did was that they continued to live, that they did well, is that they continued to live in the same world that they introduced us to. They didn't try to go too much extra, and they didn't try to go less. They kept it kind of very similar, which is something that's familiar to us from the first film, which I really, really like, because sometimes you see sequels where the studio's like, okay, great, the first one's successful, so they're like, more, and sometimes you don't need to add so much to the pot. You just want to keep it simple and keep it great and retain what was so good about the original and carry it over to the sequel.
Yeah, they really did kind of keep the same kind of humor, the same amount of jokes, and I think it was a really good amount. There was a lot of pop culture references, a lot of modern the soundtrack that they have for this is very kind of modern and very fun and very upbeat, and they just kept that very similar to the first one.
Yeah, it's very punny. So if you didn't enjoy the puns in the first movie, well, get ready because there's more puns coming at ya. And overall, the energy level from the get-go was very high, and they retained a pretty good level of energy throughout the whole film. The runtime, I believe, is longer in this second one, to the point where I felt it was a little too long. We share the theater with, obviously, it's a family movie, so a lot of children in the audience, and you can kind of start to feel the children were a little restless during certain parts. Not a lot, but there were certain parts that you and I were discussing that we won't really get too much into because spoilers, but there were certain scenes that they could have done without and still have retained the core story and the pacing. And I felt that we took this detour that wasn't exactly necessary, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, and also, but they did make up for it in many other parts to where we heard the kids just yucking it up and liking the humor. Do remember that this very much is geared towards kids. So there is a lot of, I don't want to say like kid humor, but younger humor. Nothing like fart or poop jokes.
No, nothing like that.
They made one or two fart jokes. But that's pretty much it.
Maybe one or two. I don't really remember. But it's an overall, family film. So, but they threw a little bit of like where the adults kind of are yucking it up, and the kids are like, I don't understand, but they're laughing because everyone else is laughing. I like the CGI. I thought the action pieces and the sequences were really, really great. Jim Carrey kills it as Dr. Robotnik, as he did in the first. I actually liked him even more in this one. I feel like.
He was really fun. However, there were times when it was only like one real life actor in a scene of all CGI to where I was going, that looks a little bit more cartoonish than I think the last one was. Because I think in the last movie there was hardly any, everything was CGI except for like one actor. In this movie, there is a lot that is, you could kind of tell there was a few moments to where I think I even saw like a little bit of like the green outline.
Oh, really? Huh.
Of one actor.
Interesting. Was it in the scene where the emeralds were, and because those are green?
No. It
Okay.
was actually in one of the, it was in the climatic scene.
Was it in the trailer?
Yeah, actually.
If it's in the trailer, you can probably
You can
say.
well, that's one thing that did bother me a little bit. It didn't suffer from showing all of the good parts like they do in some movies, but they showed you some parts that I'm like, that would have been really cool if they revealed that in the movie. You see it in the trailer. You see that one moment where Jim Carrey has green lightning flying out of him. So you're sitting there going, oh, okay, he gets the emerald, the Chaos Emerald, sooner or later. And then you see the image with the robot. Oh, okay, he builds the giant robot for the climactic scene. There was a moment in there that I was kind of like, oh, that's a lot of CGI that they got there. But overall, you're still enjoying the movie. You're still enjoying the scenes. They pulled a lot of inspiration from the video game too, especially when they're in. You see it in the trailer, the Temple of the Chaos Emerald. So there's a lot of moments that you're just like, they pulled that from the video game.
Yeah, but they made it for, big screen, and it looked really great. I think we can all remember when the original first Sonic for the movie images were released, and we're like, so glad, continuing to be very grateful these days that they took the notes and they're like, yeah, okay, we got to change it or nobody's going to come and see this movie at all. And now we have a second one. So with that said, we absolutely enjoyed this movie. The dynamic and the chemistry between not just Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Robotnik, but the other humans as well, really worked great for this second sequel. There's still that really great relationship and friendship and family dynamic between our main three characters that we first met in the first film. And if you're going to ask, is there post-credit scenes, as most movies have these days?
Yeah.
Most, not all.
Especially movies like this.
Yes, a part of a franchise. Yes, there is a post-credit scene, so you
That's
just
good.
stay in your seats. It's a really good one, so just stay put. Please don't post spoilers in the comments if you know what it is. Let's let people, experience that as a surprise.
But once the credits start rolling, that's the end of the...
Yeah, so if you need to
So if you're like, I have to go to the bathroom, once the official credits start rolling, you can actually leave and let the people who need to clean the theater in. Because I remember hearing from a friend of mine who actually worked in theaters. He's like, I hate the fact that they put end credit scenes now because we need some of that time to clean.
Yeah, before the next showing.
And they're like, that's half of our time right there.
Wow.
So give them the time that they need.
Yeah. With that said, I think the only complaint I have about this movie is really, I felt like there are certain things that they could have edited for time, because at some parts where we're watching it and I'm watching a scene and waiting for the payoff and then never came, and then they don't kind of explore that ever again, and it's just kind of like, okay. So those areas, that interrupted the pacing a little bit for me, but other than that, I found it greatly entertaining. I had just as much fun watching this one as I did the first one. So
yeah, the weakest part of this movie really does seem to be the humans, except minus Jim Carrey. Honestly, and it seems like they're starting to steer away from that to like, oh, we have to have humans in there so people have like this connection to it. I'm like, it really does seem that they're like, you know what? If you cut out all of that other stuff and just focus on your Sonic and Tails and Knuckles, and throw Dr. Robotnik in there, that's fine.
But I think that makes sense too, to start seeing humans a little bit less, because we needed the humans in the first story for the expositions and to introduce, Sonic being on Earth and have that, you know,
in
like
our world.
right. And but the second one, Sonic's been around and people, you know, are aware of Sonic, so we can start to see the human aspect of it kind of step back a little bit and let our main characters sure
Take the reins.
there we go. Lost my words. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and give our rating for this film. I absolutely had a great time watching it. I enjoy yucking it up with the fellow audience is always a good fun, and you know, again, that post-credit scene is a really good one, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and I will give this film a check it out.
Me too. I'm right there with you. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a great continuation of the story. It's going to prep up another Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'm excited to see that. So yes, this is a definite check it out. Go to the theaters, eat some popcorn, and just be like, nom, nom, nom.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for our non-spoiler review for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Let us know if you've seen the movie, what you thought, what was your favorite part, and what are you hoping to see in the third one, sans spoilers. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.